Hi everyone, it's Tom here from the WB Trading team. Today I want to talk about the most common and I think the most dangerous mistakes traders can make when they're just starting out. Now, this list really is, when I sat down and think about this, what could I go back and tell my younger self when I'd started trading? I didn't make all of these mistakes. I made a few of them, certainly, and over the years mentoring traders, I've heard all of these come up time and time again. I think these are the mistakes that cost traders the most time, the most progress, and I also think they cause the most traders to just pack it in and just quit. So we're going to run through these. I'm going to let you know what the mistakes are. They're not in any particular order, and I'm also going to run through what I think you can do to avoid them as well. As always, thank you for watching, guys. If there's any questions, just drop them in the comments. Let me know what you think if you're making any of these mistakes and you're still struggling. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into the video.
Just very quickly before we dive in, if you're still struggling with your trading or you'd like to know more about how mechanical edges are traded, I've put together a free video course for you that will map out and explain everything in detail, along with walking you through exactly how the mechanical rules actually work. If you'd like to watch that after this video, I'll pop a link in the description. You can click through and you can watch that straight away.
So the first mistake on our list is trading with no risk management, and we'll expand that a little bit to also say trading with really bad risk management. Now, as a beginner trader, I look back and think, what was the number one thing that I did wrong? And it's probably this, which is why I thought I'd include it at the start. So before we dig into where the problem is, let's understand what risk management is. So when we're placing trades, we're placing them using a particular size. So it could be a lot size, a contract size, a price per point, and that basically denotes how big our trade is going to be. What we should do is use a percentage of our total account and devote that to each trade. What I mean by that is allocating a percentage risk of our total account to a particular trade, and we should try and keep this as low as possible. Now, you might have heard people talk about the 1% rule. It's something that we've mentioned on previous videos, and we're really strong advocates of using just 1% of your account as the total risk if your trade hits stop loss. So if you think about, let's say you have a £5,000 account, that means that if you place a trade, the maximum amount you will lose on that trade would be 1% of that, which would be £50. So this way, we can avoid having massive drawdowns, we can avoid just blowing up accounts. And these are the areas that new traders really struggle with. And again, it's kind of the number one reason I think that most traders don't succeed is they end up getting into a pattern of no risk management, end up blowing through small accounts in quick succession. Then the psychology kicks in, then they start to feel like, this is just never going to work for me. And that feeling means they end up risking more and more and blowing accounts quicker and quicker. So it's a vicious cycle to get into, which is why we need to, from the very start, manage our risk effectively. Now, there are some great tools out there to help you do this. There are some online risk and position calculators. We have one. If you're a member of the WB Trading team, you'll know there's one in our course as well. But in general, it boils down to we need to make sure we're efficient and always managing that risk and always understanding what is our total account size, whether that changes based on profits and losses that come in from current trades, and therefore what is 1%. If we're going to use a 1% rule, which I advise all new traders to start with, it's the percent rule that I use, that most of our kind of long-term traders are using, so I don't see any reason why that isn't a good place to start for beginners. And make sure that you're using that to protect yourself. That's the key thing for beginner traders as well. In those first few months when it's toughest, when you're learning and everything seems really daunting, to have that safety there that you're not going to end up blowing accounts, going through a handful of bad trades, have that risk management in there. Get into the habit early as well. So we've had a look there at effective risk management and the benefits of actually having that rule in place from the very start. The second mistake I want to have a look at is strategy hopping. Now, this tends to be more of an emotional response to poor performance from beginner traders. And it's a bit to do with impatience, I think. And I can certainly look back to when I was guilty of this when I just started trading. It's that feeling of, I want the instant success. I want the instant gratification. And most traders, when they're starting, they don't realize the uphill battle that you've got to go through, especially when you're looking for your own strategy. You don't have any guidance from somebody who has had experience trading. You don't have any strategies there. You're just kind of going around the market, having a look, maybe dumping an indicator onto the chart, going through an article for 5 minutes that you found online about a quick win forex strategy, and you're just jumping in. And after a week, Maybe you've had like one win and a few losses. You're thinking, this clearly doesn't work. I'm going to move on to the next best thing, and you keep doing that. You just go through a revolving door of strategy after strategy. And this is really damaging for traders, Okay, there are going to be those strategies out there that you need to think, actually, this just isn't going to work for me for whatever reason. It might be just the timing when you need to take the trades. It might even just be the success rate, the average R that you're getting, the win rate. It's just not up to scratch, absolutely. But for other strategies, it's a case of giving them time. Nobody's going to be making significant profits in their first week of learning to trade. Absolutely not. And you need to give time to adjust to strategies, to find out if you're making any mistakes, if you're not following those strategy rules correctly, and give yourself some time to learn there as well. Certainly over those first few months of becoming a trader, that's when you really shouldn't be looking at getting into profits. It's a case of keeping your head above water and learning as much as you can. And if you start going strategy to strategy after every few days, you're never going to learn them in enough detail to understand if you are going wrong on them. And you're just going to try and dance around looking for the kind of that quick fix of a few profits. And then as soon as there's a few losses on that particular strategy, you move on to the next one. It's not a sustainable approach. We need to look for long-term consistency as traders. We look at this as a marathon. It's not a sprint. And therefore, throwing in the towel after a few losing trades without even looking at the strategy and going, well, what's going wrong here? Is there something I can adjust to get back to success? Or is it me? As I said, are you doing enough checks with yourself to see if you are making any errors? But it's really important that once you find, and especially if you go through, a strategy with somebody that's got experience trading, if you find a strategy like that, you need to stick with it and learn to refine yourself and to refine the strategy if needed. But it's giving it time. It's that patience there that is the key part. The next mistake I want to talk about is trading with a bad broker or a bad platform. Now, there are loads of brokers and loads of platforms out there, and I don't think there is a perfect one. We've covered a few of our particularly kind of favorites on the channel. You look back through the videos I did on TradingView, which is a really popular site, and obviously it's easily accessible, it's free, and it's a good place to start, certainly, but there are lots of options out there. But one thing traders can fall into the trap of is trading with a bad broker or an overly complex platform, certainly. So there are trading platforms out there that are really, I would say, user-friendly, that are good for beginner traders. Most major brokers have an in-house platform, which tends to be on the simple, easy-to-use side, but you can go down the route of looking for these really bespoke, really complex platforms. And I would include things like MT4 or MT5, so MetaTrader platforms in there, that I don't think are very beginner-friendly. There are a lot of great guides out there about how to use those type of platforms, but for beginner traders, I think you need to be on something simpler and finding something that's easy to use, easy to understand as well, even if it is something like TradingView, which I do think is a useful platform for beginners. For example, most of the traders that join us will sign up with either IG or TradingView or one of the other big brokers, and they'll use their in-house platforms. And yeah, there are a few bad in-house platforms that I've seen, certainly. I've moved brokers over the years a couple of times, and I would always recommend traders have a look at a demo account for those brokers, see if the kind of in-house platform works for you, or just start with something like TradingView. It's not going to be a really easy adoption, whatever platform you look at. There are going to be some features in there that you're thinking, yeah, I need to get my head around this. But you'll know, I think, that if that platform works for you, if you're finding it a real uphill battle to even just find markets and place trades, have a look around. Setting up demo accounts doesn't take too long on most of the major brokers, and therefore you can test their platforms to see which one's best for you. And everybody's going to be different. As I said, there is no perfect broker out there. There is no perfect platform. There are elements of the broker that I use, IG, and their platform that I know other traders really dislike, that I find very useful. So it's important to test and have a look through, but don't try and have an uphill battle going through an overly complex platform because maybe you've seen, other advanced traders use it. Certainly find what's right for you as a trader. The next mistake I want to talk about is a combination of trading without a journal and also forgetting to review your trades, because they're both really tied in with each other. Now, I can remember when I started trading, I didn't journal. It seemed a really boring activity to do. My broker did a little bit of automatic journaling for me, and I thought that was fine as long as I've got a rough record of my profit and losses. That's got to be it, hasn't it? Well, I learned the hard way, and when I've sat down with traders over the years mentoring, this is one of the things that traders really struggle with. And I just think it is because of interest, and they just see it as a waste of time, and it's a fairly dull activity, I'll be honest. It's not the most exciting part of trading, but it's absolutely crucial to do that. There are a few reasons for that. Now, keeping a journal can just be as simple as a record of, your entry, your stop loss, your profit, your results, when you took the trade, etc. At the very least, it should be able to tell you, if you look back through the charts, where the trade was when you placed it and where it ended up. So you can easily go back, as we said, to review it. In a little bit more detail, a journal can be an absolutely crucial tool to review your own performance, backtest effectively, look for improvements. So if you've got that data there that shows your maybe monthly performance or quarterly performance, and you can then start to analyze it and pick through which days did I trade best on, which markets did I trade best on, was this an optimal stop loss, was this an optimal take profit, all these elements that would be really, really difficult, almost impossible to analyze if you didn't have the journal, are now in front of you. Really easy to go through, pick at that detail and understand maybe where you as a trader need to improve, where the strategy needs to improve. And you can go even further than that. For beginner traders, certainly, one thing I say to the traders that join us that haven't got a lot of experience, the key thing is, at the end of every week, go through your journal when you're just starting out with one of our strategies and make sure that you haven't made any mistakes, either with filling out that journal or placing the trade. Did you place the trade in the correct location? Did you have the correct stop loss? Were you late into the trade? All of these elements that we can easily ascertain from the journal. And when I review it with traders, it's something that I can easily see then. It means we don't have to pick through the charts. It's just so useful to have it there in data form. And it doesn't take that long to fill out either. 5 minutes for a trade to fill your journal out. That's all it really takes for me to do, to put the information in and to sit down and review it. I say even for beginner traders, just to spend half an hour on the weekend going through your weekly performance, having a look for those areas where you have made mistakes, and then writing down a list to improve the next week going forward. It's going to tell you where you're going wrong. It's going to be absolutely vital if you're just starting out as a trader. The final mistake I want to talk about, and this is probably one that I reckon most beginner traders will be familiar with, even if they haven't heard the term. We're going to talk about revenge trading. Now, this is where traders have an emotional reaction to losses and they start to overtrade, particularly when they want to get back to break even in the same trading session or the same trading day. And this is a real problem. I would say it's up there with, no risk management as the biggest problems beginner traders face. Now, looking back to when I started trading, I can't really remember me revenge trading that much. I've heard it from plenty of traders over the years that they have done it, and I can totally understand why. Let's break it down to what we mean in a little bit more detail on revenge trading. So, we're talking about, maybe a new trader has 2 losses for the day. They are managing their risks, and maybe they're down 2%, for example. Well, their immediate thought is, I want to get back to break even for the day. There aren't any more trades available. I'm not noticing any setups on the market, so maybe I'll just come up with a random trade here. Let's just gamble a bit and try and get back to break even, because I'll feel really good if I get back to break even for the end of the day, and those 2 losses at the start of the day we can ignore. Obviously, this just becomes a slippery slope. You end up trading with no strategy rules, or coming back to an early mistake, strategy hopping to try and find some trades to take, all in the pursuit of just getting back to break even, or maybe recouping some lost profits that are in there. So, yeah, it's an absolutely crucial thing to avoid this. It just becomes an awful habit for traders, and the vast majority of the time, you just end up digging yourself into the hole even more. You end up just getting loss after loss, and the more losses you have, you just end up gambling, basically. And there's no rule-based approach to that. There's no strategy-based approach to that. It's totally trading off emotion, which is the worst thing we can do as a trading beginner. So it's absolutely vital for beginner traders to say, have a limit, set yourself a limit for the number of losses you're going to incur in a day before you just walk away. So, for example, I suggest as a very round number for traders, three losses in a day. If they start with us, they make 3 losses in a day, and they're managing their risk correctly, just basically close the charting platform down, walk away. Take a breather, have the rest of the day off, no more trades. Come back tomorrow and as a fresh start, and the emotion won't be there as much the next day. Otherwise, you just end up in this situation where you're constantly trying to chase for profits, and every losing day just builds up the stress. As I said, most of you, or some of you might have seen this before, might not have heard of it referred to as revenge trading, but it's a really common issue that I see, and I can understand why. It's an emotional game, trading. We have to try and avoid that emotion as much as possible, but that's difficult. But it just catches so many traders out to start with, this revenge trading. So set yourself that limit of, if you get to a certain number of losses in the day, close the chart down, walk away, no more trading. Come back the next day, fresh, and put it out of your mind. It's difficult to do. It's really tricky to master, but you need to focus on that from day one. So there we have it. There are my top 5 trading mistakes. Now, hopefully, as I said at the start, you might have seen these, you might be doing some of these yourself, or if you're just about to start trading, these are the things that you need to always be remembering as you're going through the process, and really focus on avoiding these mistakes. As always, any questions, just let me know below. If you're interested in jumping on a call with one of our team, find out how we can help you with some of these mistakes as well. The links are in the description. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.